Welcome to our October 4th Rotary Club of Columbus. We begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beth, would you come forward and lead us in prayer?
This week is the Jewish festival of Sukkot. As Jews, we celebrate. In fact, the Bible commands us to rejoice. We celebrate and rejoice in the blessings of food, of shelter, of family and friends. May we remember that homes, families, and feasts come in many forms, some of biology, some by choice, some of necessity. In our comfort, in our ease and gratitude, may we all, related in our humanity, dedicate ourselves to faith in our Creator and in one another. May we care for those who are in need. May we remember those who serve us. O Holy One of blessing, we thank you for this season as we begin not only the Jewish New Year, but also a new year of school, a new refreshing coolness in the air, nice breeze this morning. We thank you for our lives, our souls. We thank you for this community in particular. Strengthen us in our commitment, in our acts of loving kindness, of justice, and of peace. And may we start today by filling the cans as we say together, Amen.
Thank you, Beth. I'm going to ask Leanne to come forth and do the news for us today.
Well, good afternoon and happy Wednesday. Here are today's headlines. The story, get ready for a test, but not one that you have to study for. Today is the day for the U.S. government's big emergency alert drill, which will send a test message to every TV, radio, cell phone in the nation starting around 2:20 p.m. today. So when your phone goes off, don't worry, it's just a test. Your dream of buying 400 private jets or some Lamborghini roadsters for you and 143 of your closest friends could become reality tonight after tonight's Powerball drawing. The grand prize is worth an estimated $1.2 billion. So right here in Columbus, Georgia, according to WTVM, Piedmont Columbus Regional Foundation and Radiology Partners hosted the 23rd Annual Breast Cancer Awareness Luncheon yesterday on October 3rd in honor of survivors and to support those with the illness. 1,100 women throughout the day. It's going to be an amazing event, said our very own Aline Lassiter, the Executive Director for Piedmont Columbus Regional Foundation. The event featured guest speaker Barbara Dooley. Dooley is an 18-year cancer survivor and the wife of the late University of Georgia head football coach Vince Dooley. The Piedmont Columbus Regional Foundation is using the funds raised from the event for the creation of hope and healing gardens within the John B. Amos Cancer Center. And if you missed yesterday's event, on Monday, October 9th, the Piedmont Columbus Regional Foundation will be hosting a virtual lunch-in, Hope Wherever You Are, for people who didn't get a chance to attend the one-day event and wanted to support the cause. So every day is a special day for some reason, and today is no different. Today is National Cinnamon Roll Day, National Taco Day, National Vodka Day, and Coffee with a Cop Day. Today's weather includes lots of sun with a high of 87. The Dow Jones was up by 83 points at 12:15 p.m. And remember to be a blessing to someone around you today.
Thank you, Leanne. Okay, Michael, our guests and visitors today.
President Tom and fellow Rotarians, we have a fairly long list of guests and visitors today. Visiting us from The North Columbus Club is Robbie Green, who's also with the Miracle Riders. Rotarians with guests, we have Joseph Brannon has brought with him Rachel Morway, who's a future member of this club. She's with the Youth Orchestra of Greater Columbus. Then we have Al Hayes, who's brought with him Joe Hammond, who actually was with the Rotary Club of the Downtown Atlanta Rotary Club. He has recently moved back to Columbus, his hometown, and he and his wife live in Marina Cove in Green Island. Welcome, Joe. Chuck Hecht has brought with him Larry Schlesinger, who's the rabbi at Temple Israel. Welcome, Rabbi. Pat Donahoe has brought with him Margie Yates, who is the interim dean at the College of Education at CSU. And then Christine Vogler has brought with her Amy Gill, who is a partner with G2 Commercial Real Estate. Rodney Close has brought with him Nick Smith, who's with the Smith Companies. And, sorry, my handwriting's not that good. Michael Tellier has brought with him Dr. Tammy Condry, who's with the CSU School of Nursing. And the Miracle Riders have brought with them a few guests, Sally Cooper, Rhonda Bouchard, and Karen Cook. And last but not least, Camilla, who was a GRSP student from North Columbus last year. She's with us today, and she's brought with her Kevin, who is a student at the Schwob School of Music. Please help me welcome all our visiting Rotarians and guests.
Okay, past President Greg Camp will now introduce our Ralph Puckett Jr. Soldier of the Week, Staff Sergeant Jared Duncan.
President Tom and fellow Rotarians, it's my pleasure to introduce our military guest today, Staff Sergeant Jared Duncan. Sergeant Duncan grew up both in Maryland and South Carolina. And when he was a youngster, his grandfather, who was a Vietnam Ranger advisor, invited him to come down to then Fort Benning to an airborne graduation. And he was sold on it from that point forward. And as soon as he graduated from high school, he joined the Army. In 2015, he came to Fort Benning, where he did his initial training, graduated on the parade ground at the Infantry Museum, went to the 82nd Airborne Division, where he spent 4 years as an 11 Charlie, which is a mortarman. And then he came and got what I think would be a really dream job for him. He is what's known as a black hat. He's an airborne instructor. He trains roughly 20,000 people every year how to jump out of an otherwise perfectly good airplane. He's just about to finish up his 3 years plus here as a black hat. He's got all the awards and decorations to include 4 Army Achievement Medals, which speaks to how well he's done and the things that he's done. He's an airborne ranger, master parachutist. He's also about to get married. His fiancée, who's a court-appointed special advocate, which is a wonderful job where she looks after the interest of children as they're separated from their parents and makes sure that they're taken care of before they get reunited with their parents. And the two of them will soon be moving to Fort Carson, Colorado, where he's going to take over a job as a senior indirect mortar fire leader, 11 Charlie. So Staff Sergeant Duncan, we're really honored to have you here with us today. We appreciate everything you and all your fellow soldiers do for us out at Fort Moore. What I'd like to do is give you a few gifts to commemorate your time here. The first gift is a certificate that you are the Colonel Ralph Puckett Jr. Soldier of the Week. And knowing how much Airborne and Ranger School means to you, that will mean a lot. But even more so, this is a book, Words for Warriors, from Colonel Puckett to you, personally inscribed to you, for you. We also have a coin, and you know the tradition with the coin. And we also have a passport for the arts. So these are 2 tickets for you to the River Center, to the Springer, to the Columbus Symphony, to the paid attractions at the Infantry Museum, Columbus State Theater. And I hope that you and your fiance will be able to get a couple of those in before you head off to Fort Carson. So please join me in a warm welcome for Staff Sergeant Duncan.
Thank you all very much. It's an honor to be here, and I don't think I realized how big of an honor it was until I actually got here and started to speak to some of the members at my table. And it's great to meet some of the leaders of the past and hear some of the old stories of the old Army and sharing stories of today. And it's really cool to see what this is. Mr. Gregg taught me a lot about the Rotary Club. Honestly, did not know much about it until I got here, but it's really cool to hear what you guys do. And thank you guys again for letting me be the guest of honor here today.
Yes, Staff Sergeant Duncan, we're honored by your presence and would invite you to come back at any time as our guest.
So, thank you.
Cool. I'm going to ask Alan to come forward and talk about our literacy initiative.
Thanks, President Tom. Hello, fellow Rotarians. Alan Harkness here. We're going to do our literacy campaign that we did last year, except this year we're going to do it better. We have more age-appropriate reading material for the children. We'll have better dates and more options for you. So sometime early next week, you'll get an email from me asking you to sign up to read to the preschool classes, both of the school district and those outside the school district. We'll be reading to them from October through early December, and we'll do it again next spring. So another reading initiative, part of what we do here for literacy, brought to you by Chattahoochee Valley Imagination Library. So thank you all so much, and look forward to email. Sign up to read to the kids. Thank you.
Okay, you won't want to miss next week because we're going to have our district governor, Andre Mariah, here. And we're going to have a special project at the Frank Chester Recreation Center on Benning Drive from 5:30 to 6:45 p.m. And I need Rotary members to come on out and support this project alongside the Boys and Girls Club and Girls Inc. and Cure Violence. Bring your basketball shoes and expect to have a good time with the young people in our community. There is also a Zoom happy hour on Thursday, tomorrow from 6 to 8, and you get a makeup for attending that. I want to remind you also that our district conference this next year will be from March 21st to 24th. Flyers are in the back. So if you plan on attending, please go ahead and take a flyer and sign up and at least register and get your hotel room. The Dan Reed Award nomination forms are also there in the back, and the deadline for that is October 25th. Need to ask someone or someones to volunteer to help out in taking pictures. So what we need is someone with an iPhone who would volunteer at least once, maybe twice a month, to be a photographer when the others cannot do that. So if you're interested in that, I would say speak to Leanne or Jim after the meeting today. And Jim told me to keep announcing this until we have somebody. So if you don't want to hear me do it again, please come forward. Okay, so a little different today. We have Scott Ressmeyer here with us. He does not need introduction. He's been with us several times. We all know of the great work that you guys do here in our community. And you said you have something a little special for us, so I'm just going to turn it over to you, Scott. Okay?
Maybe. us to Greenville, eating up the mileage on our horses made of steel. Starting out, we got a long way to ride, with the wind in our face and the suntan in our hide. Miracle riders, helping one child at a time. Miracle riders, bringing peace to a worried mind. Miracle riders, outlaws with a badge. Miracle riders, the best friends a kid ever had. So 20 states and litter, road worn and bleary eyed, wondering why in the world I volunteered for this ride.
Pork or beef?
Pork.
Utensils or fingers?
Fingers.
Potato salad, baked potato?
Baked potato.
What state are we in?
New Mexico.
Where were we at 4 nights ago?
Washington.
It's neat to see independent restaurants that are out here surviving.
We're here, Dale.
Are you? Do you have a bigger breakfast crowd or a lunch crowd? Both?
Mostly breakfast.
Yes. We appreciate it.
Stay on the good road. I understand you're on the road, so stay on the good road. Appreciate it.
Looking around at my brothers out here on the road. We're all riding together, trying to pull this heavy load. Miracle riders, helping one child at a time. Miracle riders, bringing peace to a worried mind. Miracle riders, outlaws with a badge. Miracle riders, the best friends a kid ever had. Been gone 21 days, one wrong turn at a time. Crossing 48 states, glad to see that Georgia line. Was it worth 10,000 miles? Well, the answer to that question is in those children's smiles.
Start so far as they come off of turn number 2, and the race is on.
Miracle riders, helping one child at a time.
look forward to most is that river walk-in with my daughter on the back, and that incredible feeling of all of them people turning their heads to watch us as we roll down that street and park them bikes.
When you see us riding, how will you know? We'll be wearing dusters and our hats pulled way down low. Pulled way down low. We're just a miracle riders. Miracle riders. Just a miracle rider.
I'm actually really impressed. None of them fell down. I'm always asked, how do y'all raise money? Well, I'm going to go ahead and send these rough-looking guys out there through the crowd, so go ahead and empty your wallets and your purses and everything else. You know, because when you pull into a town and there's 20 of them like this, believe me, it gets awful quiet. And they are guarding their children, and they are guarding their wallets. So the introduction's not about me. The introduction's about the guys that I ride with. The introduction's about Brad Hanson, Johnny Ellerby, Robbie Green, Brian Brock, Ronnie Wilson, and the other 40-some-odd guys that have chose to do this journey along with me. So here's where the true riders are, right here. So thank you, guys. In 1999, I had an urge to have a motorcycle. My wife thought I was crazy, but I had an urge to have one. The only motorcycle I've ever owned in my entire life, the first motorcycle I ever bought, and the motorcycle that's been on every trip I've ever been on, is that one sitting right over there. In 2009, for my 50th birthday, I ran away from a birthday party. 14 years later, I get to stand up in front of you great people and tell a story about riding across our country and making a difference in a child's life. And I would have never imagined that in 1999 when I bought that thing. You know, but it's been a journey. I've stood up here before y'all before, and I've talked about raising money and helping kids that were at Piedmont in the high-risk nursery for the NICU, and buying equipment to give to the incredible doctors and the incredible nurses up there on that program. And the countless lives that those professionals have saved. We did that till we raised $1 million, and we're going to quit. You know, we're going to raise $1 million and we're done. You know, it's over with. I don't want to stop. All the guys I ride with don't want to stop, because we feel like, one, we make an impact. Two, we have a damn good time. I'm telling you, we have fun when we're on the road. But the fun part is all the people we get to meet, everybody we get to see across this incredible country that we live in. You can watch the news, and what do you see on the news? It's full of bad. If you go out in the real world and you meet people at gas stations, you meet people at restaurants, you meet people at a toll booth, they're not bad. I'm here to tell you there are a lot of great people in this country, and there's more good being done in this country than there is that you see on the TV. No offense to any of my TV stations. You know, but it's totally different. I carry with me in my pocket, well, I actually carry it in my wallet. And I've had it for a long time. I have a $10 bill. I was at the restaurant one day, and the guy pulls up in the car, and there's blue smoke coming out of it and everything. And he asks to see me, and he comes up and he shakes my hand, not much like what y'all do with your coins when you shake the hand. And I knew something was in his hand. I couldn't tell what it was. And he left, and I looked, and it was a $10 bill. And he said, I want you to give this to the kids that you ride for. And that impacted me. It was just like, wow, because we have corporate sponsors, and our corporate sponsors are incredible. But to be able to touch somebody that gave his lunch money to me to make a difference in a child's life, that'll move you. That's what keeps you going. A few years later, we're on the road, and we're sitting in a restaurant, and we're eating, and there's a young girl sitting there, and she's in there with her friend, and she's crying her eyes out, and it's late in the evening. We're the only ones in the restaurant besides the two girls, and the guys are doing what they do. Is everything okay? Is there anything we can do to help you? And she tells a story about just losing her baby that morning. She gives us $1 and signs her name to it and says, maybe this will help one other baby. So those stories are out there on the road. And when you're out there on the road and you meet people like that, and we're total strangers, and they want to give of their money to help somebody that they probably don't even know, that's the America we live in. That's what we experience when we're on the road. Is it all fun and games? No, it's you saw some pictures. When we're on the road, we ride in every kind of climate that you can imagine. It was so cold in Maine and raining when we got there. We did the four corners of the U.S. this year, which was 11,400 miles. It was so cold in Maine, I couldn't even undo my helmet. My fingers were shaking so bad. And all the guys were standing in there, right there at the corner, and shaking. It was, it was like, what in the world are we doing? Go a little ways down the road and you meet somebody, and they tell you their story. And they tell you about maybe their child. Or they tell you what's been important to them in their life. And we hear them every day, every single solitary day. 2 years ago, we made a commitment to ride for Columbus State University. And our commitment to Columbus State was to raise $1 million for them. Primarily what we're raising the money for is their pediatric nursing program. And you think, well, how does that really benefit kids? Or does that money actually even stay here in our community? Those are some of the questions I get asked. I said, we all know right now there's a shortage of nurses. And if we can train the best people to become the best nurses in our community, or even if they go to another community, it doesn't matter. You're still helping somebody. We did a simulation lab. The simulation lab, the first year we bought, they have a toddler and they have an infant in their robotics. It's incredible. They talk to you. They change colors. They have temperatures. They can cough. They can cry. Real tears come out of their eyes. So you have a student nurse in there that's learning on something that is not human, but she can make a mistake, and that's okay because nobody died. Will she learn from that mistake? Most definitely. Can she take that when she goes into a child's room up at Piedmont or St. Francis or any hospital across this country? And I'm confident. I've seen this. I've done this on this robotics. I know what I did right and I know what I did wrong, and I will definitely make the right decisions on your child or your grandchild. You can't replace that. Our second phase is labor and delivery. We have seen the simulation for the mother and the child. That's an experience, I'm going to tell you, because I actually got to deliver a baby, and that was scary. But it was so realistic. You know, there was a student nurse in there with me, and she was helping me, you know. Thank God she was there. You know, and she said, this is just a normal birth. It was only 5 minutes. You know, it was quick. You know, but it was so realistic. I mean, the baby, I mean, it's like a 6 or 7 pound baby. And, you know, you can see the crown of the head coming out, and you can see everything that's happening. And if something goes wrong, they know what to do. Is that worth the money? Is that worth $1 million? Is that worth $1 million if it was your grandchild sitting in there? Most definitely. You know, that's what we do, and that's why we do it. I'm always asked, in fact, Chuck Williams asked me, I saw him this morning in front of the restaurant, he goes, well, what are you going to talk about? I said, I don't know. You know, I get up here, I put my hands on the podium, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I have no planned speech. But I'll tell you what I do have, and I'll tell you what every one of those other writers have. They have it right here. I don't need a planned speech to tell about what's my passion and what I care about and what's important to me, what I think is important to this community. And that is helping kids, doing all I can do, along with all my buddies back there, to tell the story about Columbus, Georgia, tell the story about the high-risk nursery, tell the story about Columbus State University and their nursing program, tell the story about the great people that live in this community and how they all come together for common good and common causes, because it's here. And we all have that. You know, my challenge is go out there, find what you're passionate about, find what touches your heart, and do that. It's amazing the things that will come from it. 1999, when I bought that motorcycle, would I ever thought we would have raised $2.3 million? Not in a chance. I still have a hard time believing it. I mean, you see what we look like. But it's not necessarily always fly by the seat of your pants. I know the introduction was a fly by the seat of your pants because I stole Robbie, and he was actually supposed to introduce me today. But in life, there's deviations. When we're on the road, there's deviations. How do you respond? What do you do to take that deviation or something that's going wrong and turn it into something positive? That's how we ride. We wake up in the morning, it's pouring down rain. We get on the bikes and we go. When that child's in the hospital and he has no idea what tomorrow's going to bring, he keeps fighting and he keeps going. When those nurses, when they fail in those robotic classes, they get up the next morning and they do it again. They do it again until they get it right. We're providing tools. We're providing the passion that we have to make a difference in a child's life. Our next year's trip be a little bit different. You know, we try to always come up with something that's unique. I mean, we've done the lower 48 7 times. We've gone from Key West to the Arctic Circle. We did all 50 states, which involved us having to get on airplanes and fly to Hawaii and Alaska and rent motorcycles. We went to Alaska and Hawaii and back to the mainland and did that in a course of 32 hours. You know, why? Because the heart. You know, that's why they did it. But our next year's journey is going to take us to all the Columbuses in the lower 48. And I had no idea how many Columbuses were in the lower 48. You know, I've heard of Columbus, Mississippi. We always get accused of being Columbus, Ohio. You know, but we're going to show Columbus, Ohio what Columbus, Georgia really is. But there's 24 Columbuses in the lower 48. This journey will take us a little over 10,000 miles. We'll be gone 21 days. One of the Columbuses is actually a ghost town, which you have to ride about 30 miles. Sorry, guys, back there, about 30 miles on a dirt road to get to it. You know, but my challenge was to the mayor, and Judy's back there, to the council, was to reach out to each and every one of these Columbuses invite them to come meet us. I would love to meet the mayor in every Columbus. I would love to have the mayor of every Columbus to come to our Columbus when we return home and celebrate with us what a good country we live in. You know, that's what's important. So my message, Chuck, wherever you're sitting in here, my message is, whatever you do it with passion. Do it and have fun even in adversity. Do it to make a difference in one child's life, what we do. But mostly, do it from here. You don't need a script if you do it from here. All you need is something that challenges you and something that makes you want to be a better person and do something to make a difference. And our difference is to make a difference in one child's life. So I'll open it up to questions. I don't even know what my time frame is. I'm probably long, but about 8 minutes. Well, that's good for some questions. Anybody got questions about what it's like on the road? And that usually spurs me to talk another hour and a half. Yeah, some of the things that do happen, you got 20 guys on the road, and you're thinking, all right, where are these 20 guys going to sleep at night? Well, Brad Hanson, one of the guys that rode in here, he's in charge of all our hotel rooms. I would not want his job. You know, because that just, he's trying to collect money, and he's trying to arrange everything. You know, and the collecting money part is something that's very important that I want each and every one of y'all to know on this. If you give to us, if you give $10 or $1, you give $10,000, 100% of that money goes to the community foundation to help kids in our community. Each and every one of those riders, they dig in their own pocket to do this trip. And last year it was probably between $5,000 or $6,000 out of their own pocket. We never take sponsorship dollars to offset our costs to do this. It's important to me, it's important to each and every one of them that corporate sponsors or individuals aren't paying for us to go have a good time. And I think that's probably the biggest impact on us being able to raise the money, because people know that. You know, when this $10 and this $1 was given to me, we matched the pot and gave it back. You know, so I have another guy, Gary McDowell, that he's probably rode more miles on a motorcycle than anybody I ever known in my entire life. And he does the route. He comes up with the ideas. He says, this is the way we're going to go. Johnny Ellerby, back here, he came up with the idea to ride all the Columbuses. You know, so it's a group effort. It'll always be a group effort. You know, when you get 20 guys on the road, you know, there's a lot of conversation going on, and we change. I mean, we'll make deviations, just like the deviation on who's going to introduce me today. So I knew that through an iron in your fire. I'm sorry. Yes. No, we always, the way we look at it is we always ride on our own. And the reason we do that is if you're a child in the hospital, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring to you. You know, if you're a mother sitting in that emergency room and the nurse is coming in there and helping you with your child and stuff, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring to you. You have to figure out how to get through it. We break down on the side of the road. As a group, we have to figure out how you're going to get through that. So smart would be yes, but no, we're not smart. So yeah, we don't do that.
We have a question.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing and your sacrifice to the entire group. I know recently you all received a surplus vehicle from the city, and I was watching the city council meeting when that occurred. Would you just share with us you all's plans with that surplus vehicle?
Yeah, we rode to buy an ambulance for Piedmont as a high-risk ambulance, high-risk nursery ambulance. And we had an individual, Mike Jones, he did artwork that was going to go on the side of that ambulance. It didn't work out where we got to actually do it on the particular ambulance that we bought. So I've always been in search, because Mike did an incredible job with the artwork. In fact, it's in the simulation lab at CSU. If you ever get a chance to go to Frank Brown Hall, you can see the artwork, or you will start seeing this ambulance on the road. But I like 1999. My truck's a 1999. My motorcycle's a 1999. That ambulance is a 1999. So it was a surplus ambulance that was with the fire department, that was with the water rescue unit. So it didn't have a whole lot of miles on it. But we put the artwork on it, so if you see it riding around town, it's a bear riding a motorcycle, and it's for promotional. So anybody in this room, if you have something going on and you think it would be cool to have this cartoonish looking ambulance come out there, and it's involved around kids in any kind of way, we let the kids sign the hood, we'll bring it to any group and show it off, just so we can talk about what we do and why we do it. To get the young people, I would love to get into the schools where we're having trouble. We're having trouble in junior high schools. Let's go see those kids and say, look, there's another route. You could be part of our gang. Do good. You don't have to be part of a bad gang. Be part of something good, positive. So anything that we can use that for is how we're going to use it.
So have you ever gotten lost on any of your journeys?
Who are you asking? You asking me or you asking them? I get lost every day on every trip. I'll make a wrong turn out of the hotel room. But I will tell you this, and they can contest to this, every time we have made a wrong turn, or every time we've gone down a wrong road, or wound up in a wrong city, something very special has happened to us. We meet somebody that we were meant to be lost. We were meant to be where we were at on that given time, at that given minute, to touch somebody's life and have them touch ours. So yes, to answer your question, I went through the same toll booth 4 times once. So yeah, I get lost.
Thank you, Scott. Scott, thanks. Thank you, and you do make a difference every year. And we appreciate you and the Miracle Riders coming today. And we're proud of what you guys do.
Thank you.
Okay, to commemorate your time with us today, we're going to place a children's book inscribed with your name, probably all the names of the Miracle Riders on this trip, so in the public library.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. I'd like to re-welcome all our visiting Rotarians and guests, and Staff Sergeant Duncan as well. Welcome again. And please be sure to take our gratitude back to your fellow soldiers. Mia.
Hello.
Tell us about the week.
There hasn't been really much this week. I've been mostly studying, but not for midterms. Apparently, I don't have midterms. I had a test. It went well in math. Never happened. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Beth, I'm going to ask you to come lead us in the 4-way test.
Not only as Rotarians, but whatever our faith tradition is, these are good words. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all who are concerned?
Thank you, and with that, we're adjourned. Scott, thanks.